Quando a Disney World foi inaugurada em 1971, toda a costa leste pareceu ter se dirigido para o parque. Em menos de 2 anos, 10 milhões de pessoas passaram pelo local. Os visitantes procuravam as atrações mais populares como Jungle Cruise, It's a Small World e o Hall of Presidents. Assim como na Disneylândia, todos tinham uma coisa em comum. Eles apresentavam o que muitos consideravam o maior legado de Walt Disney: os bonecos robóticos que ele batizou de Audio Animatronics. E eles devem sua existência à Feira Mundial de Nova York de 1964. Em 1961, quando soube do planejamento da Feira Mundial, Walt Disney contratou diversas empresas para criar atrações para o evento.
Walt wanted to be able to develop this, and there was a way to get the sponsorship and some of the money to help develop the ideas that he had.
Uma das ideias desenvolvidas por ele era a de bonecos robóticos, que ele batizou de Audio Animatronics, ou AAs.
He had visions to where he could build a mechanical, electrical machine and then turn it into a life form that looked realistic and moved you out of that illusion of, well, it's not a machine, but it's got character and it's real and it comes alive.
Disney construiu bonecos pneumáticos simples para uma das atrações na Disneylândia.
What made it so unique was all the surprises, you know, that you'd be sitting there and all of a sudden the drums would come and the tiki poles would start to animate. And then, of course, the finale, when the orchids up and stuff start singing.
Everything in that theater comes to life. And that was very similar to what he used to do in his animated films, where flowers would sing and birds would talk, etc. And buildings would come to life.
Mas Disney queria mais. Ele queria bonecos humanos realistas. Durante anos, os técnicos vinham trabalhando para criar um áudio animatronic do presidente favorito de Walt Disney, Abraham Lincoln.
We wanted to bring to the people of today the inspiring words of the man who held this nation together during its moment of greatest crisis, the Civil War.
Quando Disney apresentou suas ideias para a Feira Mundial, um dos organizadores, Robert Moses, ficou fascinado.
Robert Moses said, "I won't open the fair without Mr. Lincoln."
O problema era que Lincoln não estava perto de ser operacional. O sistema simples que movimentava os pássaros não era avançado o bastante para Lincoln. Para fazê-lo parecer humano, seria preciso um mecanismo muito mais complexo, que ocupasse um espaço muito menor. O crânio de Lincoln, para ser preciso. A feira se aproximava e o boneco ainda não estava pronto.
Walt was very, very upset with it and told me, he says, "Bobby, I want twice as many motions and half as much weight." Not having ever designed humans or animals, it was like a whole new thing, but which we're used to doing whole new things. I immediately saw it as an airplane fuselage with small bearings, small steel framework, and in 90 days I laid out the entire design.
Lincoln recebeu uma armadura interna com 13 unidades estruturais, todas se movendo em dezenas de direções. Os movimentos articulados eram feitos com auxílio de cilindros pneumáticos. Os primeiros testes indicaram que o design funcionaria. Mesmo assim, havia problemas.
Walt was pulling out some of the dignitaries from the state of Illinois to where they could come out and preview what Mr. Lincoln was going to look like. Mr. Lincoln stood up and he started giving his speech. And at that time and frame, our hydraulic fluids were red in color. Unfortunately, when he was doing his show, we blew a hydraulic line in the torso of Mr. Lincoln. And all of a sudden he collapsed and we had this red dye fluid started to leak through his white shirt. Some of the dignitaries in the audience said, "Oh, you've recreated the assassination of Mr. Lincoln." And Walt wasn't very pleased about that. So from that point on, we had to use clear hydraulic fluid.
Ele estreou na Feira Mundial em abril de 1964 e impressionou o público.
There were reports at the New York World's Fair that Mr. Lincoln got up off the stage and shook hands with people. But from the Imagineers that I talked to who were there, that never happened. And he essentially was bolted to the floor for the duration of his run.
Just resonated with people in a way that left them very enthusiastic, not only about Mr. Lincoln, but about seeing entertainment robotics in general.
Agora que podiam fazer figuras humanas, os imagineiros criaram centenas de AAs.
They were traditionally hydraulic or pneumatic figures. This means that they have either fluid going through tubes at high pressure, that's hydraulic, or pneumatic is air going through tubes at varying pressure.
O ar ou o fluido sob pressão aciona os mecanismos que provocam os movimentos, os chamados atuadores.
We have what we call rotax, which is short for rotary actuators. They do a rotary motion of a wrist twist or torso twist. Then we have linear actuators that will do a linear motion.
Os atuadores também são responsáveis pelos movimentos faciais que dão vida aos bonecos.
We have an actuator that we call the pinch actuator, and it pinches the corner of the lips. That when you pronounce certain words, the corners of your mouth will pinch. And then the actuators down off the side is what we call the smile actuators. So when those actuators move up and down, they actually pull the lips back and give the look of the figure smiling. Up at the eyes, we have an actuator that can either be digital or analog that will give you eyes right or left. If they're digital, they're spring-loaded and they will come back to center each time. If they're analog, they will go from point A to B, and we can stop them and control them any range and point we want.
Maior controle e, portanto, maior realismo foi sempre o objetivo dos EAs. Mas nos primeiros dias da Disney World, o realismo e velocidade eram incompatíveis.
If we wanted to move the arm swing real fast, what would happen was the figure would stop and then it would shake and resonate and go all the way through the whole figure and look very unnatural. So what we would do is we had to slow that function down to where it looked fluid and more natural and not resonate and shake. So we always had to sacrifice speed for control, which drove the animators crazy because they wanted speed and still have control.
Os Audio Animatronics sofreram uma revolução nos anos 80. A adição de um novo circuito permitiu o controle da força ao puxar ou empurrar durante um movimento.
We have built-in compliance in the human body to where when my brain says stop, maybe the inertia makes my arm overshoot a little bit and then comes back to where I told it to stop, you know, but it looked very natural because that's how the human body works. We did the same thing with an electronic circuit and either pressure transducers or a mechanical Hall effect sensor. We can get that fast speed now, and then it will naturally overshoot and come back that looks very realistic and, you know, fluid like the human body. So with that new technology, we're able to make figures almost look just like us. Sometimes even better.
Atualmente, os Audio Animatronics estão presentes em dezenas de atrações, desde shows como o Hall of Presidents, onde Lincoln se levanta e fala, até aventuras como Jungle Cruise. Cada atração é uma combinação precisa de trilha sonora, que inclui música, diálogo e efeitos sonoros, e movimentos automatizados. Os personagens animados são controlados pelo Sistema de Controle de Animação Digital, ou DEX. Ele fica localizado nos túneis refrigerados abaixo do parque. Cabos elétricos que correm nos túneis ligam os computadores às atrações, permitindo que os técnicos controlem os shows à distância.
Each one of these is a flash memory card that contains all of that data in a non-moving and non-volatile format, so there are no moving parts. As the chip plays, it hands off to the next one, and then hands off to the next one, and so forth, until we have a complete message. We're able to patch into the cards to monitor their performance.
It's time to respond. Send us a message from somewhere beyond.
Atualmente, existe um pequeno exército de Audio Animatronics em Magic Kingdom, cerca de 1.100 no total. É o tipo de criatividade e tecnologia que os imaginheiros de Disney utilizariam no próximo parque.